Yup. Let's go, baby. Man, let's go. All right, man, let's fucking rock out. Oh, this shit's so rude, man. Goddamn. I don't know what the fuck that is. What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? Alright, man, let's lock in. Welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now. Whoa. What's with the hostility, Black Canadian? How you doing? Yeah, we here, man. We back. How you doing, man? We back. So we got some stuff to talk about today. I know it's the summer league. I know all these podcasts are about to start taking their all these podcasts are about to start taking their offs. We got summer league right now that most people don't give a fuck about. So we're gonna be talking about some of this, but the accreation, what does that mean? The accretion? The process of growth or increase, typically by the gradual accumulation of additional layers of matter. What the hell just happened, bro? But we gotta lock in. I'm glad you're here, Elijah. I'm glad you're here. This man said I died and came back. SGA got a chip and got a 2K cover. We not gonna be able to tell Black Canadian anything for the rest of the summer. I don't know if you remember, Elijah. He was pulling for Pascal. He was pulling for Pascal. But I'm glad you're here, Elijah. I'm glad you're here because we, like I always say at the beginning of every show, we try to talk about everything as accurate as possible, right? Meaning, when someone does something bad, we're gonna call it out. When someone does something good, we'll call it out. And if someone responds after they were shit, we give them their credit for that, right? No, but he remembers Shay is the family. He is definitely the family for you. He's definitely family for you, man. But I'm gonna swap my face in my 2K card. You gonna have a 1 of 1, 1 of 1, and then write 1 of 1 on the front of that shit. Here, man. We gotta give Ace Bailey a little bit of credit here, right? He, by every metric in that first game against VJ Edgecombe and the Philadelphia 76ers, Ace Bailey did not play quote unquote well. And really the biggest thing was the aggression. And he got to his 14 field goal attempts. He shot much better. From the field. He ended that game. This was 2 nights ago. This was on Monday night. He had 18, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. It was just a much better offensive game. So we got to give him a little bit of credit for that. Granted, it is summer league. Let me try to find some of these. It's the night edition. I'm weak. This is about to be Ace. Are you expecting to be fair and objectively nice about Ace Bailey? Oh, hell no. See, like, this is the funniest thing, right? And this pissed me off when I seen it, because Ace had 18, right? Ace had 18. And there was legit a post that said, you know, Ace Bailey and teammate, right? I might have said teammate. I don't even think it said. I don't even think it had Bryce Sensaba's name. But it said, oh, you know, 2 teammates combined for 55. Like, why couldn't you just say that homeboy had 37? Why can't we just give him his credit for the 37? He shot the shit out the ball and had hella free throws. Like, why can't we just give him his credit? He had his 37 points. And obviously in these summer league games, like we've talked about before on Monday, good games don't necessarily mean you're going to be an NBA player. Bad games don't mean you're going to be a bad NBA player, right? So when I was watching this game between the Jazz and the Thunder in Salt Lake City for Summer League, you're gonna hate this, Elijah. You're absolutely gonna hate this. But between the two guys, between Bryce and Ace, right? Ace had 18, Bryce had 37. I think only one of them today looks like a pro. And you might not like it, Elijah, but it's Ace. Like, Ace Bailey looks like a pro. Right, his mechanics on offense are really crisp, honestly, for his age. Never thought he'd have issues on the court. His motor's high and he plays taller than he is. Isn't he all of 6'9"? Isn't Ace Bailey all of 6'9"? He is tall. Like, that's why I was like, man, if you don't start cooking VJ Edgecombe, little 6'5" ass, like, what are we doing? But there are definitely some shots and some moves that Ace Bailey makes they're pro moves. Like, it just. No, he's 6'7" without shoes. He probably closer to 6'9" with shoes, though. Everybody playing with shoes on. Ace may look like a pro, but denying it. He not denying he don't act like one. But like we said, Elijah, we gotta be fair, because he could have went and we're not obviously he didn't have no fucking 40-point game like Bryce did on his team. But we gotta give him credit for coming back and performing right after that VJ Edgecombe performance on them. Let me try to find some of these. Where is it at? Oh no, this is not the one. It was against the Grizzlies, not the Thunder, bro. I'm tweaking. Let's see. He can be a great small ball 4 or a normal 3. I think he should be a 3. Honestly, I think the biggest issue with him, Black Canadian, is physicality, right? I'm seeing him against guys that aren't gonna make the league. He could finish through contact. Can he do it consistently on the next level, right? That's something that we have to figure out. But in terms of scoring and on offense, I think he will be fine on that end. Especially with some of these. Let me try to find him. he had a shot in the right corner where I was like, oh shit, he gonna be fine. He might be fine. Cause the shot is it's the shot that he took and made. It's difficult for NBA players to take and make those shots. This I think is a positive. You can see his footwork. You could see him try to get into space.
Flip for three off the wing.
So it's a good rebound right here, right? Getting the guy that creating the space right here, playing big with the rebound, keeping the ball high. Obviously he could have tried to attack the basket. His natural inclination, like most guys nowadays, are to go away from the rim, right? The days of everyone trying to get to the rim, I think those days are a little bit behind us. Guys are trying to get away from the rim more than anything now, but this is a tough shot and it's a great shot.
On ace, step back Jay.
So that's beautiful that's beautiful for him. Let me find this shot, man. This right here to me, he's an amazing offensive rebounder because of his motor. I mean, obviously that's something we'll have to see, right? We've seen a player's motor can make the difference, all the worlds of a difference for them. I can see him being a hybrid of Bam with a consistent three. I don't know. Bam is a center. Bam is a center, though. I don't know. At least from what I've seen, I haven't seen. And I guess Bam don't necessarily look for contact either. But I don't know if I've seen Ace really look for contact. He's more of a finesse player at this point. So we'll see what happens. Nope, I'm a hate. And act the way he did. He better be Paolo level where he makes a difference off rip and changes the franchise. I mean, that's him. That's not him. That part is separate, but this right here, he could play on an NBA team today because of this shot alone. And let's take a look at this.
Block taken away by Sanogo.
Great team.
This is a good pass in transition, in my opinion. He don't even bring the ball down. Like, this is difficult. Like, this is really difficult what he does with this shot right here. And I think it's extremely impressive. I can't even lie to you.
Done. Block taken away by Sanogo.
Great team.
Cross-court pass, catch and shoot.
Yeah, like you can't. Yeah, that was a hell of a shot. With the guy on him, understanding how much time and how much room he had to get a shot off. But for him to have the ability to shoot from this versus having to bring the ball down like most shooters do, that'll go a long way, especially with the way the NBA is now, where shooters, especially tall shooters, are extremely sought after, right? So he's definitely gonna get shots in the league just based off of a couple of these plays alone. I get that Bryce had an unbelievable game. He had 37. But Ace definitely looks like the pro. That's his peak physically. If he has a similar presence in the league, which I think he will, he can be good. This shit stuck out to me as well. This was damn near Clay, as Clay would rarely pull the ball down before his shots. No, 100%. And especially, like, Clay is 6'5", 6'6", or 6'6", 6'7". This guy is 6'9" doing that. You're not getting to the ball. I will say, though, I mean, the Bam comparison because of their size, but I think just in terms of their build, I don't think he's anywhere near Bam's build, but we'll see. I see him more as like I'm trying to think of a comp right now. think he could be a real good scorer in this league, honestly, with some of those. Clay's 6'5", yeah, 6'5", 6'6". Hi Kuya, hi mom. Hi mom. But again, the spotlight is on Ace. Right. So I'm with you on that, Elijah. He needs to be able to prove to us that everything that they said is true. But he doesn't really have a comp. Oh, I wouldn't say amazing rebounding, but it's stuck out as a strength. Bam is a crazy pull. He's not nearly as sturdy. Yeah, I'll be honest. I really just don't see Bam just because of the physicality. I think obviously Ace is gonna just gravitate more towards the perimeter, more of a 3-point guy. I really can't think of one right now. At 6'9" with a shot like that, his handle isn't super crazy right now. But he definitely looks like a pro. He definitely looks like a pro. I think he's probably, if from looking at it right now, he's probably not going to have the best start. He's probably not going to have the best start of the year. As we could see, he's not the fastest. He doesn't jump the highest. Like he's a good athlete. He's not an unbelievable athlete. He has great size. But I think as the year goes on and he gets to see more coverages, more defenses, more scenarios, I think his game should improve as the year goes on. But we'll see what happens. Bam is the only player I see that big that moves that swiftly. I don't want to put, like, KD is not. Like I hate putting KD on people, right? But I think that's probably a little bit more of his. He's like more of a skinnier 6'9". I mean, obviously KD was a different breed coming in, but at 6'9", they can shoot and score the way aces. I think Utah got a good one. But yeah, I think he'll start off a little bit slow. Some bad games. They'll try to probably hound him early, and he'll figure it out as the season goes on. But definitely something to look out for. But some of those little moves he got, there's something there for sure. Hey, that's why they wasn't about to let him drop. That's why they wasn't going. That's why Utah saw everything. Utah saw everything that he said and said, we gonna take him. We seen you play, buddy. We taking you. Like, that's what happened right there. He's gonna be more of a paint banger. Pause. Whoa. I mean, if he does that, if he could consistently touch the paint in his rookie year with the shot that we saw and some of the shot making ability he's kind of shown, yeah, I could see him. Yeah, hey, he might fuck around and get rookie of the year because he's playing in Utah, right? And then didn't they just get rid of Colin Sexton? Jordan Clarkson's not there. So he's gonna get shots. Like, there is no doubt about him being able to get. It's gonna be him and what's the other dude that they drafted? Isaiah Collier. Yeah, it's gonna be the both of them just fight. They might be fighting for the basketball. Yeah, they might just have to, like, they might be fighting for the ball at half court, man. Like, that's what might be happening. But I think he'll be able to eat. If he's at the small ball 4, he's gonna eat. You know what's funny? Because like it's become such a thing. Like, why don't we try to have a big lineup? Why don't we try to play him at the 3? Lauri Markkanen at the 4. Like, why don't we do that? Why don't we just go big as fuck and just zone on everybody? Why don't we just play really big? We don't got to worry about chasing everyone. We play zone. We try to teach everyone to be in the right spots to make play. Why can't we do that? Like, why can't we do that? Who the fuck gonna guard him every night in night out at 6'9"? Who the fuck gonna guard him? I don't know. He's way too quick and agile and has too much of a shot creation for a 4 to guard him. Well, all they're going to do is put a quick 6'6" guy that'll kind of stay in front of him and contest his shot, and I think that'll make it difficult. If you're going to put 7-footers on him, I think Ace will be able to make shots, but early on, especially if what I've seen so far with his ball handling, it's he's obviously not a guard, but I can see smaller guys having success defending him because they could get into his body a little bit more, move their feet and contest his shots, right? Because on defense, the flat-footed 7-footers become liabilities in pick and roll. Do you see him being in a lot of pick and rolls? At least running it off rip. I see him being more of like a corner and a wing guy to start his career. We'll see if he develops into a pick and roll. Ace plays too big for the average 6'6" player to guard. He plays like a big against mismatches. I've watched him a lot in college. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I watched him a bunch in college, but this is also the NBA. A 6'6" guard in the league is a totally different player than a 6'6" guard in college. Right? Like, we've seen Drew Holiday stop bigs. Like, we've seen guys who are undersized that are just really good and crafty be able to get into some of these guys, and I don't think he'll be any different. Like I said, I think the physicality is going to be the biggest gap for him, and obviously the knowledge and the experience, but I think immediately the physicality is going to be the biggest gap that he's going to try to make up for. I think he can make up for some of it with shot making ability, shot creation, but we'll see, man. But in the NBA, if you do the right thing, like bullying a mismatch, you will tend to be successful. He will learn. That will be a part of his shaky start, and we'll see what happens when they target him on defense too, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, the fact that he said what he said before the draft, want to be a star, like, he's gonna get tested early. They're gonna test him. They're gonna test him on defense. They're gonna test him on. He's gonna get tested early, which I think is a good thing, right? For him, if he wants to develop quickly, I think it'll be a good thing if he looks at it that way. But we'll see. I think he definitely has a pro game. But we've seen that not work out for people as well too. So honestly, I'm excited to watch this because, like I said, I think people are gonna go at him, and it's gonna make for fun basketball. It'll make for some really fun hoops. Now, we gotta talk about some signings because, speaking of another young team, Chet Holmgren just signed a $250 million extension. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, I thought about this for a second when I saw this earlier today. He's flown severely under the radar because of Cooper and his antics. Facts. The tape shows the ability is there. Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, we'll see, but he there's definitely something there. There's a reason why he went where he went, right? But we'll switch gears to Chet Holmgren. $250 million extension, which obviously congrats to him, right? Congrats to him. Are the Oklahoma City Thunder about to repeat the same mistake that they made before? Like, if you're Jalen Williams, right? If you're Jalen Williams, I and like y'all extended this guy before me, and you know Shea just got his $285 million extension plus the 2K cover. And, you know, we've seen in the last, 2 weeks alone, every team is trying to dump cash. Every team is trying to get rid of contracts because they're trying to stay under that second apron, which doesn't allow you to do a lot with your roster, right? So, Chet Holmgren coming off of the injury, was this a smart move? And obviously when you look at Chet Holmgren, because even I've said this before, right? Like I think he can be a difference maker, right? If I were this team, and you know, if I were leading this team, and obviously they've seen these guys day in and day out, different from my experience with them, but from the outside looking in, you look at Chet Holmgren and you say, okay, 7 foot tall, can shoot, can put the ball on the floor, has a high motor on defense, defensive player of the year candidate, even at an early age. Like, this guy should be our second option, all-star, all-NBA caliber player. So I understand the 250, but at the same time, when you're thinking about the actual roster right now, like, does this handcuff them? You know, they went from the young, up-and-coming team to now you have 2 max players, and I don't know how much of the roster they'll be able to keep moving forward. So that's something that we really got to pay attention to. We've seen them make this mistake before. The difference is they got a ring. That's the difference. They have a ring as opposed to the last time. But shit could get really spooky. Maybe Jalen declined for next year. I saw a report that he, let's see. Let me see what this says. Yeah, so OKC are trying to sign him right now, actually, is what it says. Like that's literally what it says, that they're trying to listen. We just saw what happened with Boston. we just saw what happened with Boston. They just blew the fuck out of that team. We just saw, and you know what's funny? It had nothing to do with their result in the final, in the playoffs, because the reports had been out before that this team, in all likelihood, was gonna look very different going into next season, and that was before the Jayson Tatum injury. So we've seen how the second apron can already impact the team like Boston, who we thought was going to be competing for championships for years. And we saw how that, you know, impacted them with having 2 guys at $300 million, right? So, and then you're thinking that's Boston versus Oklahoma City. Like, the small market team, like, typically they have a hard time keeping these guys. So I'm really this is something we got to monitor moving forward, right? This is something we really got to monitor moving forward, because some people like to pretend like this stuff don't matter in locker rooms, but they do. They do. Fuck it, blow it up, send Shea to Toronto next year. Oh, God. He would look heat in the red, though. I'm not going to lie. The red would look fire. Him in a red jersey would look fire. Oh, isn't the Canada jersey already red? OKC banking on continuously hitting draft picks. Yeah, I mean, that's where, that's where shit gets a little weird, because the way the current NBA is set up, your ability to build teams through drafting actually kind of hurts you, because when it's time to sign those guys to extensions, these new rules in the CBA make it really difficult for you to keep these guys. So we're seeing that. I think we're going to see that with the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll see what they've learned from the Kevin Durant, Harden, Russell Westbrook scenario. But this is way above my IQ. Keeping their cheapest, youngest guys and a couple vets to keep the team competitive. And honestly, if you're the Oklahoma, and this is real shit right now, right? This is real shit. No offense to Oklahoma City Thunder fans, right? But do you think it's possible that franchise, that organization is looking at it like, we got our ring, we have a MVP potential superstar in Shea, so we're gonna put butts in seats at home at least, and then when we're on the road, we get to say we're a champion and we get to have an MVP, so we get pull. We don't really need to win another ring. What if that's what they're thinking? What if that's dead ass what they're thinking? Like, okay, we got ours, we stole our ring, right? We stole our ring, right? Everybody was complaining about the parity in the NBA. They gave us 2 small market teams and the ratings sucked ass. So OKC might be looking at it like, whoo, we stole our chip. Now we get to ride the coattails of this for the next 15 years and just chill. So that's also a possibility, because like we've discussed before, these teams are businesses for these billionaires, right? These are businesses for these billionaires. So what they see as a good move financially could be totally different from a good basketball move. So we'll see what happens moving forward. If Shea was in Toronto, it would be crazy. The NBA wouldn't be able to handle the amount of people buying Raptors jerseys. You might be right. Our games would be insane as well, because we get real fans, but we way bigger city than OKC. That parade was so sad. I'm not gonna lie, when y'all was going crazy on that run, Toronto was turned up. Knicks are desperate for the ring. Yes, we are. I can see that just be a competitive team. What's good, Bruce? Yo, this man got aura. He pulled up, said one comment, and got number 1. Yo, Bruce is him. This guy got so much aura. So much aura, but we'll see, because you obviously have a super competitive guy in Shea that just signed a multi-year deal, right? Like, that's the last thing you'd want to hear, that your team don't really give a fuck about winning when you're doing everything in your power to win. But yeah, I think OKC's in a weird spot. I think it matters who they sign first. We'll see if it does in the end, but I mean, congrats to Chet. I just don't know how they're about to make all of the money work. Not a bigger city, we a whole country. I'm always number 1. Oh well, clearly. Clearly number 1. There was another signing. Fuck, where was the, let me see. Oh, that's the other one, because you brought up Paolo Banchero earlier. You must be the only one that could see it. Yeah, maybe. But Paolo Banchero also just signed an extension, right? And I've been very high on Orlando, right? I've been very high on Orlando. Obviously, they dealt with injuries last season. Y'all know I'm very high on Paolo Banchero. I think this guy is unreal, unreal talent, unreal potential, and we'll see if he can really live up to that $287 million extension. He's getting paid, what, as much as Shea, the MVP of the league, 30 points per game for 3 consecutive years on 50% shooting. And I get that, you know, they're not exactly the same. But if you're signing this contract, that's what you're going to get compared to naturally, right? Naturally, that's what you're going to get compared to. But I think if you're Orlando, this is great because this dude is, I mean, I think this guy is the real deal. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I really think Paolo Banchero is the real deal. So that's a good signing for them. That's a good signing for them. I'm excited to watch them next year. I mean, sometimes I know at times they weren't the most exciting team to watch. It was slow basketball on offense. They didn't have much shooting. They're scrappy on defense. You got 2 guys shooting every fucking shot. So I could see at times that some people don't love their style of play, but you're going to have to guard him. You're going to have to guard him, bro. And he not going to stop shooting. Right? Like there's something to there's something when you're playing against someone, right? When you're playing against someone and they are not going to stop. They could have missed the last 12 shots. You don't get a break. That's frustrating. Like that could be very, very frustrating as a player to deal with. And then on top of that, the guy is 6'10". He gonna muscle, he gonna body you up when he's on offense. Not even on defense. When he's on offense, he gonna body you up. So yeah, this guy is a problem. This guy is a problem for sure. I think Orlando can make a pretty good run. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. So I think that was a really, really good signing for them. If you're Orlando, though, you got to be looking at it like, what's the next step, right? Are you gonna be competing for MVPs? Like, what's gonna happen now? Let me see what his averages are. He was at 30 to start this year, man. 20 in his rookie year, 22.6, 25.9, and when the year started, he was at 30. 22 years old. Jesus, bro. like what? What? Obviously for him, the biggest things, right? The biggest things are your field goal percentages need to go up. Across the board, 45%, 45.2% last year, 32% from 3. You want to see those go up, especially when he's taking 6 threes a game. And then 72.7% from the free throw line. You want to see that try to creep up if you can. But I mean, this guy's nice. 6 people, 1 like. Oh, thanks for the shout out to you for that, bro. Shout out to you for that. Shout out to you. But enough for the Paolo Banchero glaze. This guy's nice. I'm excited to watch them. Moving forward. Now, there was a lot of people, and when I say people, I'm saying oh, well, Luka didn't go number 1. Paolo, in my opinion, the best #1 draft pick in recent years. Been that guy since day one. Wemby almost won Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie, though. Like, and I mean, I guess Orlando's been better, but I don't think you could just jump over Wemby like that. Wemby still exists. Let me see. Paolo Banchero, I think he's that dude, but in terms of body of work, is it better than Anthony Edwards? Is it better than Wemby? Yeah, I mean, he's probably the best #1 pick since. I mean, yeah, those are. And even before that, 2015, you have Cat. 2012, you have AD, Kyrie. 2011. I mean, he's up there. But I don't. Is he better? Like, even that first year for Wemby, dog. Like, yeah, I don't know. Cade was balling also. I mean, I think he has a case. I think you could argue it. I don't know if he's. I don't know if it's that clear cut. These guys. I mean, this list alone. I mean, Zion Williamson is like 24-8, and he don't even play. Imagine the dude played. Imagine the dude got in shape and played. He's not better than Cade right now. I think for sure. I think Cade is for sure a more polished player right now than I think that's a good debate. I think Cade, Paolo Banchero is really tight. Wemby was 1 year after Paolo, right? Yeah, he was. Can Wemby be better? Yes, but I think he fell in a good situation, but was winning and playing a more conductive play style and conducive play style. Dog, they had like 20 wins though. I don't know if that's a better situation. They sucked too. The Spurs sucked also. Them guys was also ass. Bruh, if you don't remember, in Wemby's first year in the league, they were like first in defensive rating when he was on the floor, and they were like in the bottom of the league when he was off of it. I get Paolo Banchero's scoring is unbelievable, and I'm very high on him. But efficiency is awful right now. But you're talking about someone that literally almost won Defensive Player of the Year. Paolo definitely better than Cade. I think that's close. I think it's close. I don't think that's that clear cut, because like if you have Cade Cunningham today can run your offense. He can be the hub of the offense and not just scoring the basketball, right? He's shown to really be able to get other guys involved. He's why they played so well on Detroit this year. But Paolo is a stud on offense though. Like his ability to score the basketball, that guy. But we'll see. And I think maybe I feel like this because he didn't get to have a full year last season, right? Paolo Banchero didn't. He played like 43 games, 42 games, 46 games. So that I think is impacting how I view this. If he would have had a full season of killing, I'd probably be more in line with you, Elijah. But I mean, yeah, I don't think it's that clear cut. Paolo nice though. He nice as fuck. That boy nice. Let's talk about my New York Knicks, man. Let's talk about my New York Knicks. We had the interview or the press conference yesterday with Mike Brown. I don't know if you guys saw that at all, but it got a lot of people hyped. I saw somebody post that they're ready to run through a wall because of the press conference. And I'm sitting here like, why? like what is he supposed to say? He's supposed to say, we're going to try to win a champion. Like, he's supposed to say all of those things, right? And I saw people that were arguing that this guy has championship pedigree, right? I saw a lot of people talking about Mike Brown. He's going to bring championship pedigree. And I've never heard so many people praise an assistant coach's championship ring. I've never seen it. These gotta be them delusional fans, bro. And I'm not trying to downplay Mike Brown because he was on the Warriors during those title runs. He was on the Warriors from 2016-17 to 2021-2022 as an assistant coach. I'm not gonna discredit his experience, but we've never given anyone credit for being an assistant coach on a championship team. That we've never done. We don't even give the second option player on the team that much credit when they win a fucking championship, let alone an assistant coach. So I'm not banking on that. Sorry, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not banking on his assistant coach being his championship pedigree. It's just not how I'm looking at it. Right? It's just not how I'm looking at it. Now, I will say, as a head coach in the NBA, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 8 out of his 10 seasons, he's an above 500 head coach, right? So that is a positive, but again, my question remains, do we really believe this guy is a championship head coach? Do we really truly believe that he is going to take us over the top and somehow get this group to the promised land? And I don't want to be this big pessimist. Like, I fantastic coach. I think Tom Thibodeau was also a fantastic coach. But there's, at least throughout the history of the game, there's only been so many championship head coaches. There's only been so many. Right? So, I hope that's the case. It just remains to be seen. And I get we're improving our roster. Jordan Clarkson is a great pickup. Trying to strengthen our bench some more. It's just I have some questions. I just have some questions. I would love to see us run it, and maybe I can get proven wrong. There's nothing I would love more in this case than to be wrong as fuck. But I think some people are getting really ahead of themselves right now. Eastern Conference champion. Let me see how many. Playoff series history. Let's see. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't know, man. I know Black Canadian was loving this pickup. I don't know. I think a lot of people are really excited. I don't know if people are excited because we just wanted Tom Thibodeau out. I don't know if that's what the excitement is from. I don't know if people are still living off of the high of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I don't know what's going on over there with Knicks fans, but I just wasn't as hyped as everybody else. Now, I wanted to talk about this because there was a report the other day. Let me find this. There was a report the other day that, let me see. Where is this? Mike Brown is going to make the Knicks share the ball. It's funny because, like, when it was working, nobody was saying a fucking word. Nobody was saying a word when Brunson over here hitting game winners. Like, he's scoring 40. Nobody said a word. Nobody said a word. All of a sudden, we lose. Oh, it's a big problem. Like, come on, man. He's not gonna make the starters play heavy minutes. I don't know, man. I also think that the minutes thing was a little bit overblown, especially in the playoffs. I think it was definitely overblown. All right, here it is. I found it. All right, so the report on what was this? Oh, this is like a week ago. So apparently, right, the Warriors have officially tendered the $7.9 million qualifying offer to Jonathan Kuminga, so he could be a restricted free agent. And we obviously went through the entire week of all of the news of all the signings, the trades. No reports on offers to Kuminga, right? And that's when things get a little bit scary for these players, because I don't know if he still expects this, but there was reports before that he was expecting a $30 million a year contract. He's got to know that that's not possible. Like, at this current state, he needs to understand that that is not possible right now, right? So that's number one. Number two, if you don't get signed within the first couple of days of free agency, it becomes an issue because the teams that have the cap room or the ability to sign players to bigger contracts, those teams go away because they've already signed their guys. So the later it gets, the less money Jonathan Kuminga is going to be able to sign for, the higher the chance that he has to go back to Golden State. And that's where this gets a little bit, like, that's where things get a little bit weird. Because by all accounts, right? By all accounts, Jonathan Kuminga is a very, very talented basketball player, right? I think this dude is extremely talented. And by every response that we've seen from the Warriors, the common theme is he's just not a very smart basketball player, right? That's the very common theme when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga. At least that's what I'm hearing, right? When you see on the interviews and they're talking about why he's not playing, why he's sitting, I can't find space for him. The only thing other general managers and NBA executives are hearing are, he's not a very high IQ player. He's not a high IQ guy that wants to play isolation heavy basketball. He can't find his way on the Warriors. What are we going to do with him? So that's a twofold part, right? Because if you're the Warriors and you're trying to get rid of him, what the fuck are you going to get back? How are you going to get something of value if you've been shit-talking this guy for the last 2 years? So on that front, it's stupid, right? How are you going to get of equal or more value for him if you've been shit-talking him for the last 2 years? We could find the clips. We could find the times you sat him down. Like that's very clear. So that's a big question that I have. Like, how are you going to get rid of him? I just don't know how that's possible at this point. Jabari Smith and Naz Reid got 21 and 22 million respectively. They are better than him. He wants 30 million. Well, he's expecting to be a starter, right? He thinks he's a starter, like a star level player. The problem I have with this situation, right? When Steve Kerr is talking about he's super talented, we can't find a place for him and all this, that, and the third. Who's better than him on that team? Outside of the obvious, right? Like, don't make this sound like I'm trying to say he's the best player, because he's fucking not. He's not better than Jimmy Butler, obviously. But besides those guys, who the fuck is better than him? On a team that's seriously lacking scoring. So, to me, the fact that Steve Kerr cannot find a role or can't coach this guy to be a sixth man or to have him be effective, it's silly to me. Because if the consistent thing about Jonathan Kuminga is he wants to play isolation basketball, he don't always want to make the right play, the pass, the stuff. I've heard this before, right? He's playing with Steph Curry. That entire offense is based around Steph Curry. If you have a semi-difficult layup, we would much rather have Steph Curry take the three. That's just how they play. And there isn't much room to allow players to do that unless your name is Kevin fucking Durant, right? That was really the only player. Him and Klay Thompson were really the only guys with Steph that had freedom. Everyone else, you got to give the ball to Steph. And so, if that's consistent with Kuminga, then a sixth-man role with Steph off of the floor sounds great. Or, if you know what he's going to do, figure some shit out around him. If you know he going to get the ball, like if you know that's what he's going to do, you got to figure out a way so that the other four guys know how to react. Instead of saying, oh, fuck the 18 points a game. That don't make sense to me. At least for me, that don't make sense. I get that he has deficiencies and there's things he needs to improve on, but at the end of the day, to say you can't use him the same way you said about Jason Tatum, to me, just sounds dumb. The Warriors have absolutely screwed him over. Kuminga deserves much better and out. Paolo's nice, but he lacks a three-shot. Facts. I won't say he's better than Cade, but I would say they're really close. 30 mil for him is ambitious, but it's attainable for him. No, it's not right now, I don't think. I don't think he can get close to 30 right now. I think he would be lucky to get 20 in the market right now. No bullshit. I think he'd be lucky to get 20. And the only way he would get 20 is with a team that's going to let him off the loose. Personally. I think he's in a market, but he's in a terrible scenario with the Warriors. Like, the Warriors are acting like they're the Lakers and the Celtics. And I think that's the part to me that's like frustrating to watch with them. Because, like, who the fuck are y'all? Like, without Jimmy Butler, y'all were not a good team. It would have been 2 years in a row y'all didn't make the playoffs. 2 years in a row. And you got that guy sitting on the bench? Like it's just silly to me, especially when you think about the fact that y'all had Jordan Poole. Talk about random basketball. You don't know if Jordan Poole is going to pull up from half. You don't know if he going to do a spin behind the back. Like, the fact that you are telling me to my face that you can't figure out Jonathan Kuminga, but you had Jordan Poole, to me is funny. To me, it's funny. And they got that Draymond thinking. Wait, what? Yes, right now, men in his career. What you mean? And here's my other thing with Steve Kerr. Because we spoke the other day about how Kevin Durant really saved Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green's legacy. Right? He really saved their legacy. We don't talk about how he saved Steve Kerr's legacy too. Because Steve Kerr, imagine Steve Kerr sat Jayson Tatum and he only had one ring. Excuse me. Imagine Steve Kerr bench Jayson Tatum and he has one or two rings. Imagine how different that looks compared to I'm a 4-time NBA champion. Those look very different. Nobody has talked about it. They drove Poole, KD, and others out and missed them all badly. Whoa, Elijah. You're talking to the motherfucker that spoke about it. You're talking to the motherfucker that spoke about it. But I think Steve Kerr gets a lot of credit for certain things that he might not necessarily need credit for, like Steph Curry's career. Because and credit to Steve Kerr, right? Steve Kerr came in his first year and they were NBA champions. Right, in his first year, they were NBA champions, so I'll give him his credit there. But we're not gonna act like he built Steph Curry up. That was Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson was the one that called Steph Curry and Klay Thompson the best shooting backcourt ever. He's the one that put that battery in their back. Right? It wasn't until. And mind you, I think this is the funny part, right? Let me see. 2014-15 was Steve Kerr's first year, right? 14-15. In terms of points and assists, that was actually a down year for Steph Curry from 2013-14. 2013-14, he averaged 24 and 8.5 assists. Compared to 2014-15, when he averaged 23.8 and 7.7 assists, right? I think the other part that gets missed in the middle of all this is David Lee. I think the part that gets missed a lot when it comes to 2013, the difference between 2013-2014 and 2014-2015 is the fact that David Lee got injured. David Lee getting injured allowed the opportunity for more shots and more opportunities for not just Steph, but also Klay Thompson, right? David Lee was an 18-point per game scorer for that Golden State Warrior team. Got injured. Obviously, Draymond Green came in and the rest was history. But the uptake in the years to come from Steph Curry wasn't just Steve Kerr. It's the fact that an 18-point per game scorer was out. It wasn't Steve Kerr. And now he innovated the offense and all of that stuff. I think he elevated them to a championship also, but he wasn't the one that built the foundation, right? He took what they had, added stuff to it. They became great and champions, but Mark Jackson should be credited for building that up. He built the foundation for Steph to be the MVP, right? Bro, what's your take on Mike Brown and the success the Knicks may have next season? T1000, we were just talking about it, but I think he's a really good coach. I think Mike Brown is a really good coach. Similar to, and I've talked about this Warrior situation before, right? I think the difference between Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr was Mark Jackson, like we said, laid the foundation. Steve Kerr was the one that innovated the offense, right? He's the one that said, okay, I see what you guys are doing here, but let's take this to another level by adding layers to this offense. Let's get more shots for Steph, more shots for Klay. You know, blessing in disguise that Draymond Green was able to fill in when David Lee went out, because obviously he's more of a passer. By the way, too, for the Warriors, I know Draymond gets a lot of credit for it. Andrew Bogut never got credit for his ability to pass on that team. Andrew Bogut used to stand at the top of the key and he can make all of the passes damn near. So I want to give him his credit for that. But I think where I draw the comparison with the Warriors and the Knicks is, I think Tom Thibodeau laid a great foundation for us. Is Mike Brown going to innovate our offense to the point where we are now NBA champions? And now, like we discussed earlier, Mike Brown comes from the Golden State Warriors, 2016-17 till 2021-2022, right? He was with those championship teams, and I get that those experiences are valuable, but will he be able to inject that into our team? That is what remains to be seen. That's what remains to be seen. You know, what is he going to do to the offense with, personally, I love Jalen Brunson. I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be the key. Can he turn Karl Anthony Towns into more of a hub on offense in the post, at the nail? Like can he put Karl Anthony Towns in spots to be more effective, to get into the lane, get free throws, not just stand around and shoot threes and set picks for Jalen Brunson? Because I think having that for Karl Anthony Towns would open up a lot more for Jalen Brunson. But I think that remains to be seen. Like, I thought the Kings were solid, right? I thought they had good pieces with Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. And what he got Coach of the Year, I think, the year before, right? Mike Brown did. But for a center in Sabonis and a guard in De'Aaron Fox, you would think that they would have made more noise. So I don't know. I wish we had like Terry Stotts from Cleveland when he became free from Brooklyn or something like that, or like Nick Nurse or something. But the past is the past. We can't do nothing about that. I think we just gotta wait and see. I'm still very skeptical about it. I'm still very skeptical about Mike Brown as the head coach moving forward. But yeah, just to pivot back to Steve Kerr, right? He never built the foundation for the Warriors, right? Like we discussed, Mark Jackson is the one I would credit for that. And so now that he's in a position where there's a young player that wants to be a star, and at least as it stands right now, Steve Kerr has not had the ability to build the foundation for Jonathan Kuminga to be the next star in the league. Maybe Jonathan Kuminga is just not a star. Maybe he's just not. Maybe that's just not who he is, right? Excuse me. But for the amount of shit that they've said about Jonathan Kuminga, if you truly believe that he wasn't good enough to be at least an all-star level kind of player or an impactful player in this league, you would have got rid of him already. Because you would have had the mindset, I know what he is, he gonna go to another team and prove me right. The fact that y'all will not let him go, to me, shows that you guys think this guy is just really fucking good. Steve Kerr just, for the life of him, cannot figure out how to put him in a system with Steph Curry and the offense and the plays that they have, because his name is not Kevin Durant. But the reality is, if you don't let the kid make his mistakes, if you don't let him off the leash and go crazy, he will never turn into Kevin Durant. So he's in this weird limbo. Right, Jonathan Kuminga is in limbo because he wants to break out and be a star, but he's in a team and in a situation where everything is micromanaged because they have this championship pedigree that they're trying to live up to, and it's hurting the young kid. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I've had some real serious questions about Steve Kerr. I've had some real serious questions about Steve Kerr. And on top of that, y'all were the 10th seed before Jimmy Butler came in here. All the offense and defense came from Jimmy Butler. That means that your foundation on offense and defense fucking sucked. That's all that means to me. Right? That you weren't doing a great job as a coach because y'all weren't even in the playoffs. And now this guy, Jimmy Butler, got to work his ass off just for y'all to get there. It's just, I don't know, man. Speaking about Nick Nurse, isn't it funny they went from doc to a nurse and they still couldn't keep Joel healthy, bro? I just lost full. What's up, T? What's up, T1000? Got a B-ball Terminator in the room. That's me, bro. Hey, man, this guy is AI calculating everything we saying right now. We should be asking you who about to win next year. We about to become rich. But yeah, again, I got some real serious questions about Steve Kerr. We'll see what happens moving forward, but not a massive fan. Not a massive fan. We got to talk about this. We got to bring this up real quick, because the part two of the Mind the Game podcast with Kevin Durant came on, and I watched all of it. So let's take a look, because Kevin Durant had this to say, and I thought it was interesting, and it's been going viral lately. Yeah, absolutely. Most of the time I'm critical of young guys. Jonathan is being held back, and when they had to lean on him, he served as their second option before getting relegated to the bench and forgotten. Yeah, and he's cooked. Especially the what do they call it? The cachet that Steve Kerr has. His words have value. His words holds value in the NBA. So it'll definitely affect Jonathan Kuminga moving forward. But let's switch gears. Let's see the former Warrior. Let's see what Kevin Durant had to say.
accountable after games, right after the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff you got to ask yourself. You got to recommit to this game. Just like you sign a new contract, every time you get better as a player, I truly feel that you got to recommit and sign that contract with yourself every so often. Like, all right, yeah, I'm 10, 12 years in, I got 4 MVPs and 4 championships. Like, but do I still want to do this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Because you know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Right?
Yeah. And then I want to come back. Or some people say, I'm going to go 22 straight. And, you know what I'm saying? So it's a contract I feel like you got to have with yourself, too, in order for you to be a, you know, great ball player.
No question.
And I think there's some people that are taking this as a shot at Michael Jordan. When you watch this segment and the podcast in its totality, I don't think it was a shot at Michael Jordan. If you listen to what he's trying to say, right? He brought up the baseball thing because he said there's a contract that you have to sign to commit to this every single day, essentially. Right? Kobe has spoken about that contract too. And when he brings up Michael Jordan going to play baseball, I think he's speaking about the fact that in that moment, Michael Jordan couldn't commit to basketball, but came back and fully committed. And obviously they didn't flush out that conversation even more, because I think it should go without saying the man came back and got a three-peat. So that's what I think Kevin Durant was speaking on. I don't think he was actually trying to bash on Michael Jordan in that sense. Because listen, if you really wanted to go through it, right, Kevin Durant is a 17-year veteran in this league. He still don't have as many points as Michael Jordan. Like, just to put it in perspective, right? Like, longevity is great. All of that stuff is unbelievable. If you're going to play 20 years, what 15, 16, whatever your number is, that's awesome. There's something to be said about the guy that played 13 and got just as much, if not more, numbers than you. I get there's value to longevity, absolutely. But there's also value in someone that played 13, 14 years and you can't touch the motherfucker's numbers still. Somebody tried to come at me at the restaurant at a restaurant one time because he was talking about LeBron. I'm like, dog, the guy played 20 years to beat Mike's fucking thing. Like what are we even talking about? The guy did this shit in 13 years, got in, got out. You can't touch him. His 13 years is better than fucking everybody else's whatever. That's just a fact. And so again, they didn't fully flesh out the conversation right there, but I understand what Kevin Durant was trying to say. I don't think it's in KD's nature to bash Mike. And to take this off of sports, right? We're gonna get a little bit deeper here. I say the same thing about relationships. I say the same thing about relationships with your partner, right? I've said this before. This might be obvious, but I think hearing it and having it said is still important, right? There are some people out there, and I would assume a lot of men think this shit. Some people think that you commit to your person twice. It's when you ask them to be your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and when you ask them to marry you, right? Those are the two moments where you specifically ask yourself, am I going to commit to this person? And I think that's bogus. I don't think that's true at all. I think you have to commit to that every day. moment to moment, you have to commit to your craft or your person in this case, your relationship. That's how you get the motherfuckers that step out on their partner one time in a year. Like, God damn it, dog, you was doing so well up until that one moment. And there's some people that want to say, oh, it was just one, but you still failed in that moment to commit to it. So it's a constant commitment that you have to make over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I think that's what Kevin Durant is referring to right here. Right? Everyone's story is different. Right? Everyone's careers are different. Right? There are some guys like a LeBron James who's able to really commit to this shit for 20-some years, and he should get applauded for that. I think the person like Michael Jordan who falls out of love or can't commit to it in the moment, comes back and fully commits, I think there's some to that too. There's value in both of them. Those are two different things that we're talking about. But there's value in both. And personally, I don't think Kevin Durant was trying to bash him, but that's just me. clip this lover boy Estrera. I mean, hey, that's just real shit, man. Like, that's real shit. Like that's why you get the people that because they're not committing daily, or they step, like, it just is what it is. You gotta fully commit to that shit. And I think when you have a Kevin Durant, and by the way too, I would love to speak to Kevin Durant. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with him, because if you've ever questioned any of the decisions that he's made in his career or some of the things that he says, go and watch all of his podcast interviews. Go and watch all of Kevin Durant's podcast interviews, and I promise you, you will get a much better understanding of who he is as a person and why he makes the decisions that he makes. It's very clear. There was a moment, I don't remember if it was episode 1 or episode 2 of Mind the Game, where he talked about going to his local Y when he started playing basketball, and really when he started, getting better, he talked about like wanting to be wanted, wanting to be, hey man, come over here. Right? And when you look at the Warriors situation, and I've said this before, personally, I think all he wanted was to be a part of the Warriors. But instead, it was the Warriors plus KD. And I think that rubbed him the wrong way. Whether you agree with it or not, that's what happened. Because that's who he is as a person. He values people. Oh man, I fuck with you. Come over here. Hey man, you part of the family. And not just saying it, like really, really meaning it. And so I think a lot of his interviews really sheds a lot of light on who he is as a human being and just the way that he looks at things. And I think it's great. Not facts. When you listen to him, it's much harder to criticize his greatness and not like him. And like I said on Monday, right? Have the expectations and the criticisms, right? But you can't take away what he did for the Warriors neither. Right? You could question him, but a part of that is, oh man, I was expecting you to win, because god damn it, you stepped into the Warriors next to arguably the best point guard of all time and became the best player. Like, that means something. So you can't have both. Oh, he was riding the bandwagon on the Warriors, and oh shit, he can't get it done after. Nah. The real sentence is, we're disappointed that he couldn't get a championship after he left the Warriors, because he was the best guy on that team. That's what the real statement is. But guys want to just cut it up and say other shit. Right? That's the real problem with this Kevin Durant narrative right now. and it's just, and we're seeing, you know, a lot of people bash on him, but yeah, I saw a lot of people having takes on that, on that quote unquote Michael Jordan little statement, but I just don't think that's what it was. Now, we gonna talk about this, and then we gonna get up out of here. Let's see. Did I unmute it? Yep.
As a team, I played Kobe, bro. He wasn't guarding like that. The first 4 or 5 he was. After that, bro, he wasn't guarding like that. Paul Pierce and them used to cook. Joe Johnson used to cook. The first couple times he made it, like, he lock up. And then it just became a thing. Like, Kobe Bryant played defense. You the best defender half your life. Lies. He was competitive, but that don't mean he was locking up. That's why they had Metal World Peace. 12 times all defense.
I saw a lot of I saw a lot of people shitting on this, right? I saw a lot of people shitting on this. So let's have a real conversation, right? Let's have a real conversation as to what Jeff Teague was trying to say, right? So let's start with let me tell y'all what he was trying to say right there, right? Earlier in Kobe's career, right? This is what I think Jeff Teague was trying to say. When he was on the team with Shaq, he was more of the second option. And then, you know, after Shaq left, he demon on defense. Kobe was everything for them on offense. Okay, now we got to get Meta World Peace for defense. Now we got to get Trevor Ariza for defense, right? Like what Jeff Teague is saying, that reputation followed him. And obviously there were moments in you know, when Kobe Bryant was getting older, like the Kyrie thing where he was locking up, the Olympics where he was super killing on defense, right? I think that's what Jeff Teague is trying to say, that defense, that Kobe, especially earlier on in his career, had to play more defense. And as his career progressed and he had more responsibilities on offense, you naturally just cannot play as much defense. Like, naturally, you cannot play as much defense shooting 25, 30 times a game. It's just real shit. But I will say, for Jeff Teague to say Kobe wasn't really playing defense like that is crazy. Like, and then because then for him to add, oh, but he was competitive, shows you that he would literally turn it on and off, right? So like I think again, maybe he's just not completely finishing this statement, right? Because most number one options, you can't play defense like that. You like you can't play defense like that for 48 minutes of a game, right? When the Bulls played Magic Johnson, yeah, of course Michael Jordan was on Magic at times. Scottie Pippen was guarding him. Against the Jazz. Who was guarding John Stockton? Ron Harper. I mean, like it's just real shit. Like, this is just real shit. When did Michael Jordan win his Defensive Player of the Year? The motherfucker was like 24. You could run all day long when you 24. When you start getting 27, 28, and you still got to shoot 30 times, operate the offense, like, you just naturally can't play as much defense. Naturally. And then the other part in it too, right? But Kobe had guys to do that, as any star should. But people remember the past differently and make guys in the past legends. But here's the other part too, Elijah, that a lot of people forget. A lot of people forget this. When you're a defensive player, like Kobe's a known defensive player, right? Just a quick question to all the hoopers out there. Are you sending help when the guy's a defensive player? Do you send help when a guy is a good defender? Oh, my bad. You don't, right? You don't. The only time you're sending help is when the guy is not a good defender. So think about some of the people that Jeff Teague just named. Joe Johnson's name was ISO Joe. ISO Joe was literally his name. At what, 6'7", 6'8"? Yeah, I could see him cooking Kobe here and there. like, what do we, like, no shit. Gilbert Arenas famously had 60 on Kobe. That don't mean Kobe's a bad defender. Offensive players are just unfucking real. Like, it just is what it is, man. Like, it just is what it is. I get that there's some people that are getting really offended by this because it looks like some people are bashing on Kobe Bryant. But when we really talk about the hoops part, like if I'm an offensive player, I know they're not gonna send help for Kobe. So if I get him in a one-on-one situation in a spot where I think it's favorable, I'm taking him. And if I'm a good offensive player, I'm gonna probably score. Like, that's just how shit works. Yes and no, depends. Like, bro, if you remember last year in the playoffs, the 2024 playoffs, if you remember the 2024 playoffs, for 2 weeks they were running the narrative that Luka Doncic was good on defense. They really had the nerve to run this narrative for 2 weeks during the playoffs that Luka Doncic was good on defense. Meanwhile, when you watch the games, he's standing right there. There's two motherfuckers right behind him to help. So now the guy's trying to figure out, oh shit, I can't drive left. Ah shit, I can't drive right. I gotta pass it. And they're like, oh my God, look, Luka got the stop. No, he has help because he sucks on defense. And then what happened in the finals? He got exposed every time. I think the thing about Kobe is he has, there's he's had some moments like the block on LeBron in the All Star game, right? He has some of these highlights and moments on defense, the Olympics, all of the Olympics, right? The 08 Olympics, all of it. The Kyrie thing, right? Those are what people remember. Right? Those are what people remember when it comes to these things, and it just is what it is. Mind you, basketball is a game that mistakes happens for every action. You just try to be a problem solve. Kobe got beat by Joe Johnson once in a while, but he locked up way more than he got cooked, so he is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, great, but fans jump when they see players not constantly win every play. Yeah. That's why, like, I wanted to explain what I thought Jeff Teague was trying to say, but at the same time, you also can't say he wasn't playing defense like that. like because his goal on that night when he was playing y'all wasn't to be the defensive player of the year, don't mean that he wasn't really playing defense for real. Like let's just stop that. Even like I just saw T-Mac recently talking about him defending Dirk Nowitzki. I know nobody would give a fuck about this, and I'd always said T-Mac was an underrated defender because I watched those games when he held Dirk Nowitzki to 35% shooting at 7 foot tall. Like I watched those games. And he was literally guarding him, right? But you know, that I think that's what happens, right? Everyone don't watch everything. People remember different shit, and especially right now, saying anything remotely negative about Kobe is really frowned upon. But I do think that there are some guys that are also taking the time to bash on guys. Now, I don't think that's what Jeff Teague was necessarily trying to do right here, but that's just a part of it right now. That's just the media space that we in, and that's the role that I'm playing. So, hey man, but that's gonna do it for me for now. Hour 38. Hey man, we've been doing shit. We've been doing nice with this, man. But as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all so much. Elijah, like, you are the GOAT, Elijah. Black Canadian, I appreciate you for coming and hanging out. Thank you, Mom. T1000, I appreciate you for coming and hanging out with us. Jesser gave T-Mac a bucket, best YouTube hooper. Are you guys something for Jesser? Listen, bro, I always thought I could get a bucket on any play, on any on any NBA player, especially if they have playing defense. Let's be real. Let's be real, man. At 20-some, T-Mac was averaging 30. That boy different. But that's gonna do it for me for now, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are the fucking greatest. Before I get out of here, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. We're trying to take this to the moon. You know, we're trying to make it to the top. But thank you guys so much. I'll be back here on Friday. Man. Thank you guys so much for everything, as always. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate y'all for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all on Friday. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. You have a great Thursday.